Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News and a major day in the Valorant world. Some major roster change updates being confirmed last night, especially by FaZe, ahead of their chance at the VCT qualifiers that begin later on today. But also with a major patch update coming here to Valorant, with Sova changes, Neon changes and Jett changes. Jett is meant to be nerfed, but TenZ believes that actually the nerfs are probably more like a buff. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel, well on the road to 16k. Just love to see it. Firstly, this from Marv, thought was kind of cool. Just said, well, all the boys after, of course, not too long ago, winning at the Masters event. These, then the patch notes that come out last night for the, of course, the update that drops. We kind of knew what was happening to Sova, to Jett, but other changes have been confirmed as well. Mainly, I mean, look, the Jett changes are as follows. We'll talk about her here in a second. But, of course, Fade arrives. Lots to talk about Fade, right? How strong is she? Is he actually the best agent in the game right now? Because I'm sure with some of the combinations you can do with Fade and Raze and other agents and stuff, like, you can make her very powerful indeed. And players are just starting to understand the true potential. Now, Neon has some changes also. Generally, I think the Neon changes are intended as a buff. The battery energy received upon killing an enemy has increased from 25 up to 100%. That's a big deal. The slide has been changed to a degree to make it more natural. That's at least what they say. And then the wall damage has actually been removed from the fast lane. Now, like, it was a very small amount of damage if you tried to push through a wall. Now people are saying, okay, everyone's just going to be swinging through her, like, you know, fast lane walls. And, you know, it's going to be really bad for Neon and it's a massive nerf. I don't really think that's the case at all. You can't really push through the walls anyway without getting pre-aimed. Like, that's just how it's going to be. And also the wall damage that they had before was very minimal. If anything, they actually say this is pretty much a buff, because it used to damage, I think, your teammates and the enemies. And now it's not going to do any damage at all. It means it's now a more attractive option for Neon or for an ally by preventing the disruptive portion of doing incidental damage or by adding a bit of safety moving forward, right? So they actually reckon this is a slight buff. Definitely been some talk on this, to be honest. Sova also the changes that get confirmed here. So the duration reduced of the Owl drone and, you know, also the dart reveal, the damage, right, also of the shock dart reduced down to 75. So the changes we expected to see a slight nerf, or rather a significant nerf though to Sova, especially with Fade coming into the meta, so interesting to see how this one works out. Of course, it will turn out that Fade in this new patch update will not be played on by the pro players in the upcoming qualifiers over the next few days, just because they don't want to change the meta significantly potentially, and of course will randomize the potential outcome of these events. But yeah, these are Neon's changes, so Neon can now slide in all directions except for backwards. Energy usage is now increased also, so maybe that's a slight nerf over there. But like, yeah, Neon's wall no longer does damage. The recharge has been buffed, so interesting stuff for sure for Neon. Certainly she's been coming into the meta massively, pretty much led by Victor and Optic at the Masters event. These are the changes from Sova then just put into numbers. So the duration of the drone has now gone from 10 down to 7 seconds, the health of the drone down to only 100, the number of revealed signals from 3 to 2, and the first reveal is now delayed by an extra 0.4 seconds in addition to the shock dart nerf. So quite a significant nerf, I think, there for Sova. I guess we'll see how this one plays out. Maybe not the ideal one that some people are asking for, but look, we'll see how it goes. Other changes though coming in as well. Phoenix has been mentioned, right? Because Phoenix, like, there was all this talk for quite some time. Yoru, Omen, when are the buffs going to come through? The buffs finally do arrive, but Phoenix was the only, well, agent at the Masters event to not be picked one single time, right, the entire tournament, which was pretty unfortunate for him. So we're going to imagine that at some point or another, like, a buff is going to come through, but he just gets outclassed by, like, all the other Flash agents. Now, the pros have definitely let their thoughts be very clear here on, like, what they think about some of these agents, right? So as Ethan says, Fade is the best agent in the game. A lot of people say that, like, Fade is very strong indeed. When Neon was first announced, a lot of the talk about Neon was like, okay, she probably won't be particularly strong in competitive, very good in, like, ranked and stuff, but in competitive, not particularly viable. As it turns out, she might actually be very viable. And already the pros are saying that Fade is possibly the best agent, or, like, at least has an awful lot of strength. So there's definitely, like, there's so many things that you can do with Fade that make her kind of scary to play against. And as I said, the kind of combinations with other agents might make her kind of a staple of the competitive meta going forwards. Maybe she's even too strong. But she's not going to be enabled in the group stage for the NAVCT. So it's only going to come in when the 12 teams are going to get confirmed for the challenges. So they've certainly got a few days to figure out what's going to happen there after these qualifiers conclude, to begin later on today, as we'll look at towards the end of the video. But we've got to talk about Jett as well. I believe what's happening here with Jett is that she does the dash, and then due to the Fade kind of the, like, area perimeter thing that's going on, like, Jett somehow, like, manages to fly back to where she was and then pull out the knife. So I don't know what happened here. Like, I'm sure they were kind of just setting this one up because it's a 1 versus 1 between, you know, Fade and Jett. You wouldn't imagine this is like a realistic case scenario, but still, apparently this is something that can happen. And, you know, Jett's been going through some kind of crazy stuff lately. This is what TenZ has to say on Jett, though. Of course, you know, Jett player for quite some time. Was a lot of talk. Jett's still the most picked agent at Masters with about 66 or 65-ish% of matches Jett was picked in. Now Jett changes are actually a buff. Didn't realize you get kills towards the next dash, even if you didn't activate the current dash fully. This is kind of the major thing. That the dash has really been the key change to Jett. You can't just dash whenever you want nowadays. You have to, well, activate and ready the dash, and then you can dash, like, well, immediately on the second button press. But this is what Shanks points out right here, is to actually this might even, if anything, be a buff, right? Because you can see he's got, like, when you see the things on the side of the screen here, that's when the kind of the Jett dash is ready to be activated. So he activates it and gets it ready to go at this point. Like I say, he can dash at any point in the next 12 seconds. If he doesn't use it, then he loses it effectively. But you regain the dash if you get 2 kills. So what happens here is he gets 1 kill, like on the fade, runs away, uses the dash, right? So at this point, he already has 1 kill towards his next dash that he gets. So he can gain points towards his next dash while he has the dash readied, which is that's the key thing, because you can see right here, he actually gets the 3rd dash in a second. So okay, he peeks in, gets the 2nd kill. So now he's got another dash again. So he reactivates the dash, right? So he's getting ready to use it again. And now he gets the 3rd kill, and then he gets a 4th kill, I believe, like right here, before he actually uses his dash. So at this point, he can use his dash right now because he's got like 5 more seconds or whatever, like maybe 7 more seconds to use the dash, which he does. But he already has another dash ready to go because he got 2 kills while it was being activated. So like, if anything, you can actually get more dashes as a result of this, right? Like, and you can afford in a situation like this to use it an awful lot. Like, he dashed right there and he still has it ready to go again. So interesting stuff, right? That while the dash is activated, or like, you know, while you're kind of getting ready to do it, you can actually still gain kill points towards your next dash, which if anything makes it even stronger, you could argue, in the hands of a good player. And this is the discussion that Fo points out for me. I love how this Jett nerf is actually just a buff to the character. Here's to 2 more years of Jett. Jett can add kills to her dash once the activation window begins. So if you get an op pick while you have a dash window active, you're 1 out of 2 kills to the next activation while still having the dash available. Like, you can get a pick, dash away, leaving you 1 kill for the next dash, right? So definitely in the hands of a good player, this might even be stronger than she was before. So interesting stuff. I guess if they get rid of that feature where you can get the kills towards the dash while you have it activated, then this might, well, change tune a little bit. Let's talk about some rostermania stuff. So Elgato over at the TSM side, he announces he's parted ways with TSM, an unrestricted free agent now. Couldn't be more thankful for the opportunity I was given. Nothing but love, he reckoned to the team. There was definitely some drama going on between him and some of the other players on the roster, to be honest, not too long ago. But yes, he's officially out of there. He's gone. Like, that got officially confirmed by TSM yesterday. Of course, their new roster got confirmed as well just a couple of days ago. They'll be playing, I believe, actually no, they play today, I think. FaZe Clan play tomorrow because they have a bye through to the round of 32 by signing pretty much most of the former Rise team. And that's they confirm right here. Poach, Supamen, Poised, Dicey, and babybay. So Dicey and babybay, like 2 former members of the team. Of course, Dicey has been, 100 Thieves Dicey back in the day as well. But yeah, Poised, Supamen, Poach, those are the 3 guys. Shanks, I believe, is also here kind of as their substitute, which means that they get 3 players on the team, which means that they get the bye through to the round of 32. So FaZe have played that one rather nicely. But of course, round of 32 isn't exactly qualification for the event, right? But FaZe do confirm what their team is going to be. And as Supamen says, reunited, and it feels so good with these boys back in business right here. So we'll see how they get on later on today. But again, plenty of talk about that actually. This just to mention real quick also from Yay, our girl Fade is 240p. That's the thing in the agent select and at the top of the screen as well. Like, she's not all that looking that good. But of course, that doesn't necessarily translate to being not particularly effective in the game itself, as she seems to be certainly right now, as we talked about earlier today. This also from Optic, right? Champions T. Thought that was kind of cool after winning the event. They got this one ready to go relatively quickly indeed. And speaking of Masters, these are then the broadcast talents going into the North American Challengers Open qualifiers that begin later on today. So Shift is back. Pretty cool to see. Thought it was a good talent lineup on the whole. But of course, most people are watching on the co-streams anyway, right? Is that we kind of get used to at this point or another. So this is it then to look at right here. So if you guys missed this, we looked at this a few days ago. This is the Open Qualifier number 1. The way this works, we've got the main event, which there's absolutely no details on yet here on VLR.GG, it seems. But May the 13th, the 12 teams begin. I believe the top 4 teams from last stage get a free bye. So of course, Optic, the Guard, those were the 2 North American teams that went to Masters. Therefore, they get to automatically qualify once again. Cloud9 were 3rd, and then Xset were 4th. So I believe those 4 teams automatically qualify. Every other team, like your version 1s and the like, they have to qualify again through the Open Qualifiers. There's one going on from April 28th, that being today, through to the 2nd of May, and then another one in a few days' time if you don't qualify here. So only 4 teams out of all of these guys qualify. Like we can see version 1, they have the bye. We'll see FaZe here in a second have the bye. But teams like Ghost Gaming, of course, Knights have the bye as well. But T1, TSM, they don't have a bye. We've got NRG right here. FaZe do, though, after confirming their new team, just because also Cloud9 Wide here. I want to see how they get on. Of course, the female Cloud9 team that's been dominating the North American region for quite some time. 100 Thieves get the bye largely because they still have Hiko on their sub bench. So they still have like 3 players from the previous teams. They technically get it, right? So kind of an interesting one. But yeah, TSM are right here. Sentinels get the bye as well. And then FaZe also get the bye, kind of like the former Rise Nation squads effectively. But yes, these games on the far left-hand side go on today, April 28th, of course. And then tomorrow, that's when things really start to kick off here with all these other teams getting involved. So Sentinels, all the other guys, their matches begin tomorrow. Not on this new patch update, though, which of course is key. So I'm sure the players don't want to really put too much time into it just because they're going to have to play on the old patch patch update when they play these qualifiers today and tomorrow. And just really speaking of the whole, like, you know, community casting and stuff, thought this is pretty interesting. That about 50% of viewership for Masters Reykjavik was on the official channels, and the rest of it was pretty much on the co-streams, right? So Portuguese broadcast for Brazil, I suppose, broadcast in other languages, Japanese one, and also the English broadcast as well. So thought it was kind of interesting, like, even if anything, like a higher official channel percentage than I imagine. Like, certainly pretty reliant on the co-streams to make these events successful. But very much enjoyed your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hitting the like button, tell us your YouTube gods this is a good video. Others like you should see it as well, and I've grown the competitive Valorant community. Thank you much as always. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.
See, Jett's not broken. I mean, Jett's not nerfed. I'm telling you guys. I just went for it. You know what I mean? Jett's not nerfed, Chad. Don't worry about it. And now I have my dash again. Don't worry, Chad. Jett's not nerfed. Don't worry, Chad. Don't worry. Don't worry, Chad. Jett's not nerfed. Don't worry, Chad. Don't worry, Chad. Jett's not nerfed. Don't worry. No, mate! Oh my god.